Welcome back, YouTube. J-Bob, the video game slob, coming back at you with the rest of this stuff. That was from the flea market the other day. I totally forgot to get this stuff on camera. I had gone out to the car and found two more grocery bags full of crap, wouldn't you know? But it was a busy day trying to get all this junk running around the flea market, that kind of thing. So, yeah, here's part two. Here's the rest of the stuff that we bought that I totally forgot about. Starting off with this super cool $5 third-party Nintendo 64 controller from Mad Catz. Listen to that snap on these things. This trigger, I mean, you can just look at it. You can see the nice grip on the back of these. These things feel like $1,000,000. It's got the turbo. It's got the slow. And the buttons sound amazing. And they come in these super cool translucent colors. Definitely would recommend these. I like them more than the OEM controllers, to be honest with you. But I have this color, so we'll put this out to market. We'll sell that one off. No big deal, but kind of a cool piece there. We picked up a little $5 deal that included a stack of some old WWE or Raw magazines. I don't know. I just know I have them in the past, and they sort of sell. The condition obviously isn't great on these kind of things, but who knows? Whatever. So essentially, $5 for a Gex 3 that does have the back label and spine, missing the manual, and a bunch of magazines. Doesn't seem like too bad of a deal to me. Now, does PS1 stuff sell? No, it never sells. And is Gex the best? Not really. But we all know who the best is, right? So, I don't know. It's just sometimes defensive purpose. You're like, well, I'll buy that. I'm sure I can get $5 out of it. I don't think I'm going to make the moon there. But we'll take it. This was pretty cool. It's one of my favorites here, if we can get the camera to focus anywhere near it. The Sonic the Hedgehog. Man, it is really hating this right now. But the Sonic the Hedgehog watch. Oh, I know what it is. It's having a link there, I guess. I don't know. But if we move it over here, we finally got it. Tiger did a watch. I honestly did not even know that this existed. It's my first time ever seeing it. And so, yeah, we did this for $25. But as you can see, the screws are just hella tiny. And of course, the battery doesn't work. And so taking that apart is going to be an absolute nightmare. I do probably need to hit it with a little, Mr. Clean or something like that to get the old Sharpie off of there. But I don't know. We'll get to it. I still think for $25, I'm doing pretty well on that. For something I've never seen before, that's the kind of stuff I like to pick up. That's the fun of going out to the flea market, right? Is, stuff, unless you had a safe search, how do you find that, on eBay or that kind of a thing? There was a guy selling all sorts of stuffed animals and toys, so we picked up a pair of plush Lynx. I did pay up at $6 a piece on these, but I don't know. What are you going to do? I don't have any in stock at this point. I'm going to put $12, $15 on them anyway. I have Marios and Luigis and Sonics and different things, but none from the Zelda series, no Lynx. So, yeah, I don't know. Not too worried about that. Funny enough, this much bigger, in my opinion, more nicely detailed Spyro here was $5 from the same vendor. Super cool. I checked it up. It's even got the little claws. It seems like maybe it's a 2019 or a 2009. I couldn't quite figure out what year it was or figure out the details, as he does not have a tag on him. But for $5, I'm super happy with that. So we'll put Spyro in the personal collection, I think. I don't have any Spyro plushes currently in the collection, so why not add one of those? We got the cords, and we got the controller. Now, the controller's got to get a sticker to come off, and of course we got to still test it. But it does feel good, and we'll have to replace that thumbstick. But it came with the Platinum or Silver or whatever they call this in PS2 land, Series 90,001. Some people like these, some don't. I like it because of the simplified power supply, so you don't have to have the specialized brick with it. Makes it a little more compact and that kind of thing. Frankly, I don't know that the rate of these working versus the 75,001 models is really any different in terms of the slims. None of that really matters much to me. He did say it was tested. It did come from a place that had a retail store attached to it, but they do things like gold and silver and movies. So video games aren't their number one thing, but for $40, I'm going to take a chance on that all day and see where that goes. So hopefully that has a happy ending for us. That alone could, make more than enough profit to cover the hassle and the headache of going there for the whole day. For 12 bucks, we picked up a set of VHS tapes, and frankly, Pumpkinhead is probably worth $12 at retail. That's probably what I'll put on it anyway. Fantastic, weird, bizarre movie. If you've never checked that out, as you can tell, pretty out there. But then we picked up the Double Dragon, the Shield of Shadow Khan. This was one I just think I picked up, I say recently, in the last 5 years. For years and years, I was collecting, VHS tapes related to video games and just never knew about this one. But what's cool is he had this factory sealed. So there you go. It's got the factory seal all around it and the proof of purchase and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know, 12 bucks, $4 each. We'll take that all day. And of course, we'll try to sell the loose one. Will anybody want it? Who knows? That's anybody's guess. Again, probably more defensive buying. $3 Skylander Swap Force starter pack in the box. Mostly buying it for the box. As you can tell, we have a non-Swap Force guy in there. There was no game in it. But, the farther on we get, the harder it is to find these things in the box and that kind of thing. So, again, $3, not going to get rich on it. We'll swap in the right people because the starters are always easy to find. I don't know. We'll ask 10 bucks, see if we can get 10 bucks out of it, triple our money. Again, nothing crazy, just trying to be defensive. So we got the Welcome Aboard gigantic Stroh's Beer Light here. Yeah, I don't know. She wanted 25 bucks on it. It's pretty dirty, as you can see. So we settled at 20 on it. The chain's fairly rusted, as you can kind of see there. But I looked up comps. It's sold 3 times in the last 3 years. Anywhere between $180 and $200. Now, I'll gladly accept the first 100 that walks in the door for it after I clean it up a little bit. But around here, like I've said this before, the market for everything around here is very low because everybody's cheap and poor. And nobody wants to spend money on anything, and everybody's a flipper and all this kind of crap. So I'll take the first 100 that walks through the door on it, but very cool piece, very rare. Didn't know it at the time. I had been asked about it a number of times. As I was like walking it back to the car, so that was the problem too about getting footage out there. I should add, it's funny, you watch YouTubers and you think, well, I could do that, or that's not that hard. But you really have to have multiple people and cameraman and stuff because you're buying all this stuff. As you see, and this is 2 whole tote bags full, plus having to carry that, and all the stuff we had last time, like those garbage cans and stuff. It's really hard to get things because, half the lap around this gigantic loop, you're having to take stuff back to the car. So you have no hands to do filming anymore or anything. So that does make it a bit of a challenge. And of course, people just generally don't want to be on camera. So we paid face value for these. It's kind of like a friend of mine's relatives. And so, unless they're out of line, I would ask for a better deal, but at $2 a piece, I double checked all the discs were in them, that kind of thing. Shout out to all those who always remember to check for the discs. But sometimes you're in a rush and a hurry and you forget about it. You can't do that. But just basic titles, Rayman, Legos, stuff that are classics, stuff that'll sell. This came from the PS2 people. Again, here's always like a dead giveaway. Good deals usually at flea markets will be handwritten. The things from more corporate places that are, probably going to be a little harder to deal with, usually have those. Although they did give me a $10 break, and their prices are very reasonable. Yeah, some water damage here, but $2 for Diablo 3, that's all day. $3 for Supreme Commander 2. And again, a lot of these you might be saying, like, Jason, these aren't really great prices, or they're not going to sell for a ton more than that. Yeah, maybe not. But the thing is here, you gotta start buying this stuff now. Hoard it away. And, maybe the Wii stuff doesn't sell today or tomorrow, but as tariffs kick in, as inflation continues to go up, you're going to be glad you have all this back stock that you got at pretty low prices, so that way you're able to, go out and make money in the future. Everybody always wants to think you're chasing the profits in the moment, and that's great. We want to, if I could sell all these through at market price, that's fine. But as prices go up and I have these games on my shelf and maybe they don't sell in the first 3 months, but 6 months or a year, now the relative price of them, is far cheaper, and now it's $2 under, $3 under, $4 under market value. And now you look like the good guy, or you're able to go back and you have your $2 sticker on there, and you're able to price it under market price and be very competitive because you knew, what you paid on it, and so That's a trick with a lot of this. So Tomb Raider, I have so many copies of this, but for $5, I just never turned down a Tomb Raider. What did that one end up running me? I guess the tag's already off. It was probably $3. That's kind of the max I would pay on that. Yeah, Toy Story 3. The SpongeBob. Again, the newer system ones I don't mind paying $5 on. It's not in great shape. It is a Call of Duty, but any Steelbook I'll just generally pay $5 on because for whatever reason, people love Steelbooks and they'll always pay a premium. Again, not usually paying $2 for a Madden, only doing it because it's on the Wii U. It just didn't get a ton of sports games, so we picked that up. Carnival games, I've said it before, for whatever reason, I sell out of this. My buddy who has this store sells out of this all the time. So it's one of those games you might see for $2 and go, I see this all the time, I'm not buying it. Pick it up. It's something that people will pay for. You're not going to get rich, but if everyone you picked up for $2, you sell between $6 and $8, you're doing pretty good. This those little chip-ins that'll really help you, out as you go. And a Raving Rabbids to close things out. So there you go. There's the rest of what we picked up from the flea market. I think all in, it was like $455 somewhere in that neighborhood, $450 with lunch and gas and all that kind of stuff all included. So thanks for hanging out again, YouTube. J Bob, the video game slob. We'll talk again soon. Until then, Sonic!